Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In my several videos over the month, I have been working on Klipper control add-ons, such as the one you're seeing now. It has 5 pairs of buttons and LEDs to let you monitor the printer and make macro commands. This version also has a microcontroller inside, so you can plug it into the Raspberry Pi with a single USB cable. While making this one, I was especially happy with the LED indicators. As much as I enjoyed the usefulness of it, I learned so much about how Klipper works. So this time, I made a pad with a whole bunch of LEDs. This time, I'm using the addressable LEDs, better known as Neopixels. It lets indicators to change the color to represent changing status of relevant printer components. In this video, I'll show you how it works using a short print cycle. Take a look inside the box and then head over to the software side of it. So let's begin. Okay, before printing begins, only the idle indicator is lit in blue. Now as I send a print, so many things happen. Idle indicator is off for obvious reason. The print indicator is green, which means a print is now going on. Heat ext and heat bed indicators are yellow, as heaters on extruder and bed are now turned on. They'll turn green when they reach the target temperatures. Below those are fan ext and fan part indicators. These are for two fans on the tool head, and as you can see, the fan on the extruder body is currently on. Next we have speed indicator, which changes its colors in accordance to the tool head speed, as you can see now. And there is a home indicator that turns green when the tool head is homed. Below are 3 indicators marked as step X, Y, and Z. They turn on if the stepper motor of the relevant axis is turned on. I chose red, green, and blue because these are conventional colors to represent X, Y, and Z axis. Okay, heat ext has turned green, which means extruder has reached the target temperature, and the heat bed will follow soon. There you go. The print will begin soon. Let's fast forward a little bit. And as the printer started with the second layer, we can see that the fan part, the part cooling fan, turned on, and the heat ext indicator briefly changed to yellow, now back in green, because the extruder was adjusting to a new temperature. Fast forwarding again. So the pad stays mostly green except for the speed and stepper indicators during the most of the printing. Now let's pause the print and see how it goes. The print indicator turned yellow, which means paused, and the idle indicator turned green, which means ready. And they both return to normal when print resumes. Now the print ended and the indicators will change accordingly. Once the tool head is parked, the indicators regarding motors will turn off. But the heater indicators will stay yellow until they are cool enough. And the print indicator in blue represents a successful print. Alright, let's take a quick look inside. I used an RP2040 module again, like in the last project, although this one is smaller in size with fewer GPIOs, which is okay because Neopixel requires only one GPIO channel. So including 5V and ground, 3 lines are connected from the Pico module to the LED strip. There are 15 Neopixel cells in 3 segments that goes from here to here, and they are wired to follow the arrows printed on the strip. On the front are the cells covers with index, which are 3D printed in white. There are 3 extra cells with no index, and I spare them for possible needs in the future. By the way, this shell fits my Ender 3 V3 SE's housing, but if you want it, the link is in the description. Okay, now let's look at the software side. My configuration file for the Neopixel is this, Neopixel ind.cfg. So I open it. In this section, I'll skip what's covered in the previous videos. So if you need more details, please visit the links in the description. So at the beginning, we have the MCU definition, followed by the Neopixel definition. In the previous videos, I defined each LED separately, but for Neopixel, the whole chain is considered as one batch, so we only need single definition with the number of cells in it. In our case, it's 15. After that, I wrote this G-code macro. And here is a tip. If you name your macro with underscore prefix, it will disappear from the main cell dashboard. In this case, this whole macro is not for any action, but it just defines what is called a G-code variable. As such, I underscored the macro title to hide it. So the variable to be defined here is named C values, and it has the name of the color followed by RGB and white color values. For example, color yellow is a combination of red and green. And also I have defined turn off with all zeros. There are 4 numbers here, including the white, but it's going to be ignored because my Neopixel doesn't have it. Another thing is this number of 0.05. This is the maximum brightness value that I chose because when I assigned number 1 as the full brightness, the cell was simply too bright. And again, there's no G-code command for this macro. So the purpose of this macro, or to build a macro only for defining a variable, is to provide a one place to go to adjust the whole Neopixel chain. After that, there are templates for each cells. This first one is for idle indicator, which lights up in blue when idle and green when ready. This status is stored in printer.idle timeout.state variable. So here, the appropriate color for the cell is selected in accordance to the value of the variable. And please note how each color values are loaded with this script. It might appear overcomplicated than just putting the value directly, such as writing 0, 0.05, 0, and 0. But again, this method allows us to change only one place in this macro to change the overall color setup of this project. And the rest of the code follows the same structure. With only changes in the status variable that is used. And then at the end is the delayed G-code, which is set up to run once after 1 second after system start. And in the G-code, first we call the MPX colors macro, which was the macro that defines the colors. And then after that are activation for each LED templates with the index number. This could be obvious, but the index number has to be the number of the cell in the chain. So remember step Y, indicator is 6, speed is 7, and so on. So that's it for the code. But please note that I'm still new to programming and I think my code is very rough and clumsy. So just take it as a work in progress and feel free to suggest any ideas for improvements in the comments. And to use this code at all, don't forget to add the include line in your main configuration file, the printer.cfg. You can see it here. Back out, we have this MCU listed, the MCU Pico 0. And until now, I have added 2 extra MCUs in the system, one of which runs the macro pad in the previous project, and the other one for this Klipper dashboard project. It's kind of fun to watch the Klipper as it manages and handles the growing number of MCUs just fine. So that's it for today, and thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next one. Bye.